Welcome, everybody, to Bible Bites. I'm Pastor Dan, and we're reading through the Bible one small bite at a time. We had finished in our previous video with Matthew 26, so we'll begin chapter 27 today. Jesus has been arrested, and he was put on trial by a Jewish ruling council called the Sanhedrin. Don't know that this was really a legitimate trial, but this is what happened. So now Matthew is telling us, he begins, at least in this chapter, by telling us the intention of that ruling council, of some of the folks that are part of that. When morning came, all the chief priests and the elders of the people took counsel against Jesus to put him to death. They bound him and led him away and delivered him over to Pilate, the governor. Pilate was the governor of Judea. See, the Jewish ruling council did not have authority to carry out a death sentence without Roman permission. So that's why they had to turn Jesus over to Pilate. Now, of course, Pilate is in a very hard position here in that he wants to certainly appease the people to keep peace, but as we'll see, he does so at the cost of what is really true and what is right. But now Matthew makes comment about Judas. And Judas was that disciple who betrayed Jesus. Let's read here. Then when Judas, his betrayer, saw that Jesus was condemned, he changed his mind and brought back the 30 pieces of silver to the chief priests and the elders, saying, I have sinned by betraying innocent blood. There is a change of heart or mind that Judas has. It is possible he's not really repentant so much as just he is full now of guilt. Maybe he didn't really think Jesus could ever be betrayed, or that Jesus could ever be condemned. Obviously, he believed Jesus to be innocent, and so he's full of guilt now. And so he returns the money that he had received to betray Jesus. But they say to him, What is that to us? See to it yourself. And throwing down the 30 pieces of silver into the temple, he departed. He went and hanged himself. So this is how great his guilt was that he that he hung himself. Excuse me. But the chief priest, taking the pieces of silver, said, It is not lawful to put them into the treasury since it's blood money. So it was actually money that bought the death of Jesus, or at least brought about, purchased his betrayal. So they couldn't put that in the treasury. There was Jewish law or something that they would know that they shouldn't do that. So they took counsel, meaning they conferred with each other, with others, and they bought with this money, with them, the potter's field as a burial place for strangers. This field was called the potter's field because maybe a potter had owned it. Don't know, but they figured that they could bury strangers there. So therefore, that field has been called the field of blood to this day. So at the time that Matthew's writing, it's still called the field of blood. Then was fulfilled what had been spoken by the prophet Jeremiah, saying, so the rest of this is scripture that we can read in the Old Testament, and it states this: They took the 30 pieces of silver, the price of him on whom a price had been set by some of the sons of Israel. Of course, that's the chief priests, right? The elders. And they gave them for the potter's field as the Lord directed me. So we could go and read that. Now you find that in Zechariah chapter 11, I think verses 12 and 13. Why Matthew says Jeremiah, I don't know. There could be various reasons for that. He legitimately thought it was Jeremiah, or perhaps this was a prophecy that Jeremiah had given, but also Zechariah, although we do not find it in the book of Zechariah, or I'm sorry, in the book of Jeremiah. Uh, Now, of course, the book of Jeremiah doesn't record everything that Jeremiah would have ever prophesied. So that's a possibility. But anyways, we'll not go down that path. We'll just note that you can find this in the book of Zechariah. All right, next time we will see what Matthew tells us happens as Jesus is before Pilate and what takes place there. But until that reading, be blessed.